mantras, affirmations, and ascended masters. Achieve a higher consciousness. Introduction. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can kill me. Because words create vibrations. It took me around 4 years to understand what that meant. In this book, I share with you all the teachings that I learnt over the years, in search of truth. My life was going downhill and I saw no hope. It was devastating dealing with what existence threw at me. I was an emotional wreck, at the threshold of depression, and it felt like I was a fallen leaf being sucked into a fierce whirlpool. I was suicidal, until something happened that changed my life forever. One evening, I was reading a book, The Autobiography of a Yogi. That book got me interested in realms beyond the physical and intellectual, and one thing led to another. After the early years of spiritual shopping, like most seekers of truth do, I too was fortunate enough to meet realized beings, sages and spiritual masters who helped me realize the ultimate truth. I feel the urge to share with everyone who might be where I was a few years ago. No matter what you're dealing with, as I write this, I trust, whoever reads this is seeking answers too. I believe this is your moment of one thing leading to another. So let us read beyond and understand. I want to thank you for downloading this ebook and hope you enjoy reading it, as much as I enjoyed putting this book together. Chapter 1, Secrets from the Ascended Masters. Everything is in rhythm. When we are in sync with the rhythm of the universe, we do not experience crisis. The rhythm consists of male and female energy, and when they are separated, there is an imbalance and obliteration. The rhythm is referred to as the dance of Nataraj in Hindu philosophy. It is the cadence of elements in nature. There is an exchange of energy at all times. Energy converts into mass and mass into energy, E=mc2. Thus, according to the law of quantum physics, we can change our destiny. We are the masters of our own fate. But we ignorantly choose what our karmas decide. Every incident in life is a lesson that needs to be learned from. Nothing in life happens without a reason. We create what we feed into our consciousness. Everything is in the mind. Once we understand the secrets of the mind, it becomes our greatest friend or our greatest enemy, if we abstain in our search of truth. When we are not aligned with the divine universal consciousness that is in rhythm, we suffer. We are a holographic print of the universe, micro and macro. This is mentioned in Triparasya, meaning the mystery beyond the Trinity, an ancient literary narrative in Sanskrit. With meditation under the guidance of a realized master, all impurities are dissolved and all these negative reactions cease. Those who want to be rid from diseases should turn their outward consciousness inwards. The mind thinks it is real when it uses the 5 senses. Upon being able to use the 6th sense, one witnesses the ultimate truth. Our cells are continuously dying and regenerating. In a year, every cell in the body is rejuvenated. Sages describe diseases as disturbance in ease. Quantum physics reveal, emotions are energy in motion. Emotions because psychic impressions. These impressions are imprinted onto the mind and form thoughts, and thoughts create reality. Thoughts are created by mind and mind is created by action. Emotions create dark masses, which manifest as physical ailments. Physical pain is a manifestation of guilt, either from the present or past life. Cancer develops in those with deep resentments. When one is incapable to react to oppression, his emotions create vibrations that further create atomic configuration that reason cancerous cells. Consistent fear leads to asthma. Feelings of helplessness and victimization lead to weak legs and knee ailments. Pending tasks emits gray energy and it turns to golden energy upon completion. The practice of breath control leads control of overall life. Chapter 2, What is Spiritual Consciousness? Consciousness can be classified as higher and lower consciousnesses that are opposed to each other. This is the transcendental reality. Spiritual consciousness does not drop from the sky and fall into your lap. The difficulties of attaining spiritual consciousness are many, and it is impossible to be conscious of this truth on its own accord. While we are physically conscious, we are not necessarily spiritually conscious. At the human level predominantly, the mind gets distracted and runs hither and thither, aimlessly. We endlessly seek pleasures in material objects, sex, relationships, money and authority, since the limit to our gratification of worldly desires is never ending. The gluttony to get our hands on more and more is consequent of an unfathomable void that one tries to foolishly fill up by worldly pleasures that barely last. This emptiness is due to a lack in awareness of the eternal truth. The ever-prevailing paramount of truth is known as Satchitan and absolute bliss, in the Hindu philosophy. A human being devoid of the ultimate truth is like a car with failed brakes. One steers through traffic at high speed until he meets with an accident or falls flat on his face in ignorance and becomes a victim to melancholy and self-pity. The human mind can get very anxious when desires remain unfulfilled. One loses peace of mind and doesn't know what to do. A seeker of truth is invited to be in charge of the five senses, to withdraw the mental consciousness from its attachments on objects. To control the senses does not mean to shut one's eyes or turn deaf ears. It is to withdraw the awareness from the awareness of things, unplugging the mind from body consciousness that encompass ego, or identification to that, when is does not align with the ultimate truth. Identification with worldly pursuit is the biggest deceit the human mind believes. The spiritual self is devoid of false identification, and the Eastern philosophy reveal that the purpose of birth and death is to realize the ultimate truth and rise over and above lower consciousness and attain self-realization. There are two ways of withdrawal. First, it is an emotional withdrawal, and finally philosophical withdrawal from the pursuits of worldly pleasures. Emotional withdrawal does not mean abhorrence to things or suppress the urge to experience it. One simply snaps out of worldly slumber when walks on the path of self-realization, in search of truth. Those who haven't tasted the nectar of the ultimate truth, often worry that spiritual practices means abstaining from the world, departing to the mountains and surviving harsh conditions. This is not true. One who is spiritually aware can comfortably live in the world and be of the world. Simply put, he no longer gets affected by the false projections anymore. He lives his life to the fullest and is happier than most that chase materialistic pleasures. The five bodies. Eastern esoteric yoga informs us that humans have not just the physical body, but a series of overlapping multidimensional bodies, also referred to as koshas or etheric layers. Imagine an onion and visualize each kosha as a layer that surrounds the self, also known as the Atman or the ultimate truth. To reach the ultimate truth, spiritual and religious practitioners use different methods to attain self-realization. Physical, Annamaya kosha. Anna means food. All physical aspects of life come and go, and are consumed by other aspects of peripheral reality. Thus, the outermost of the koshas is known as the sheath of food, or Annamaya kosha. In Vedanta practice, one trains himself in this aspect, takes care of it, nurtures it, so that they benefit from external lives and go inwards, without it being a hindrance during mediation. This body has the lowest vibrations and is attached to the etheric and astral energy, Pranamaya kosha. Prana means energy, the vital force that produces the subtle vibrations linked to breath, which are powerful forces behind the physical aspects of the senses and functioning of the physical body. For both a healthy life and the practice of mediation, Vedanta says, it is useful and essential that this level of our being is trained, regulated, and directed, so that it flows smoothly. The energy or etheric body is of a higher vibration than the physical body but lower than the astral. Mental, Manamaya kosha. Mana means mind that processes thoughts and emotions. It is in direct control of the functions of the body. Through prana, it acts as supervisor, instructing. When it receives clear instructions from the deeper level, it functions quite well. However, when it is fogged by its illusions, the deeper wisdom is blurred. After taking care of the physical body and training the energy of prana, the most important part to be trained in positive ways, is this level of mind. In meditation, one becomes aware of Manimaya Kosha, explores it, and then goes inward to and through the remaining koshas. This body also transcends beyond time and space. Advanced remote viewers, using their mental body, converse telepathically. Wisdom, Jyan Maya Kosha. Jyan means knowledge, the sheath of wisdom that is beneath the processing, thinking aspects of the intellect. It is aware and differentiates between right and wrong. It is the level of ego consciousness, meaning the powerful wave of I am. I amness itself is a positive influence, but when it gets entangled with the memories, and is blurred by the mind-body, it loses its positive strength. A foremost part of spiritual practice is gaining with increased awareness at this level of our being. It has highest altitude in wisdom to seek truth, to go within, in search of the timeless center of consciousness. This body also stores past life memories as holographic images. Bliss, Ananda Maya Kosha. Ananda means bliss, the innermost of the koshas. The first of the koshas surrounding the Atman, soul, the everlasting core of consciousness. However, it is not bliss as a mere emotion experienced at the level of the sheath of mind. Ananda is altogether a different dimension of reality from that of the mind. It is peace, joy, unconditional love that lies beneath and beyond the mind, independent of any reason or stimulus to cause happy mental reactions. It is simply being, resting in its natural state of bliss. It is also known Sat, Chit, Anandatman, self. The ultimate realization is known as the self, the eternal axis of consciousness, that which is never born and that which never dies. Atman has been described as the indescribable and is called the Nirguna, Nirakara in Vedanta. All spiritual and religious practices escort us to the expedition inwards, towards the self. Chapter 3, The Wheel of Life. The word chakra is derived from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel. Literally translated from Hindi, it means wheel of spinning energy, comparable to a whirling vortex, an ocean of energy. Our bodies have 7 of these energy centers. Imagine chakras as invisible, rechargeable batteries. They are charged with the flow of cosmic energy in the atmosphere in the same way that our homes are connected to a central power source within cities. The only difference is that this cosmic energy source is free. Imagine this, a vertical power current rather like a fluorescent tube that runs up and down the spine, from the crown of the head to the base of the spine, also our chief source of energy. The 7 chakras are at the center of our body and are aligned with this vertical power line. Chakras connect our spiritual bodies to your physical one. They regulate the flow of energy in the physical body. Occasionally chakras are blocked due to stress, emotional disturbance, or physical ailments. As a consequence, irregular energy flow results in ill health and uneasiness, or a sense of being mentally and emotionally out of balance. Chakra mantras, chanting verses containing higher vibrations, help us in clearing our energy centers, so we thrive and not just survive. This allows us to make the most of your physical life experience, creating positive changes, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. In spiritual and healing disciplines and in the world of complementary medicine, the word chakra pops up quite a bit. Chakra system explained. The 7 chakras are the energy hub in our body in which energy flows from end to end. The crown chakra, violet in color, it is positioned at the top of our head and associated with the cerebral cortex, central nervous system, and the pituitary gland. It is insightful and involved with information, acceptance, and bliss. It is said to be our umbilical cord with the divine, the chakra of divine purpose, and personal destiny. Blockage in the crown chakra, manifest as psychological imbalance. The third eye. Indigo in color, it is positioned at the center of our forehead, between the eyebrows. This chakra is useful while inquiring the spiritual nature of our life. It is the chakra of question, perception, and knowing. It is associated with intuition and wisdom. Our dreams in this life and memoirs of other lifetimes are stored in this chakra. Blockage in the third eye manifests as lack of foresight, intellectual inflexibility, selective memory, and depression. The throat chakra, blue or turquoise in color, it is positioned within the throat. It is the chakra of communication, creativity, self-expression, and judgment. It is associated with our neck, shoulders, arms, thyroid, and parathyroid glands. It is concerned with the senses of internal and external hearing, the synthesizing of ideas, healing, transformation, and purification. Blockage in the throat chakra can lead to creative blocks, dishonesty, or common problems in communicating one's needs. The heart chakra, green in color, it is positioned at the center of our chest, and is the storehouse of love, compassion, harmony, and peace. Asians believe that the soul resides here. This chakra is associated with our lungs, heart, arms, and thymus gland. We fall in love through our heart chakra. Feelings of unconditional love moves to the emotional axis, usually known as the solar plexus, and later moves to the sexual center or base chakra, where strong feelings of attraction can be released. When these energies move into the base chakra, we may have the desire to marry and settle down. Blockage in the heart chakra manifests as slowed down immune system, lung, and heart problems. One demonstrates inhumane behavior, lacks compassion, and is deceitful. The solar plexus, yellow in color, it is positioned a few inches above the navel in the solar plexus region, and is associated with our digestive system, muscles, pancreas, and adrenals. It is the base of our ego. Feelings of personal power, joy, and anger are linked to this center. Our sensitivity, ambition, and aptitude to accomplish are stored here. Blockage in the solar plexus may manifest as anger, frustration, and lack of direction, or a feeling of being victimized. The sacral chakra, orange color, it is positioned between the tailbone and navel. It is associated with lower abdomen, kidneys, bladder, circulatory system, and reproductive organs and glands. It is also linked with emotions. This chakra corresponds to desires, pleasure, sexuality, procreation, and creativity. Blockage may manifest as emotional problems, compulsive or obsessive behavior, and sexual guilt. The root chakra, red in color, it is positioned at the perineum, base of the spine, and is associated with the legs, bones, large intestine, and adrenal glands. It controls our fight or flight response. It is closest to the earth, and its function is associated with physical survival. Animal instincts, paranoia, fear, procrastination, and defensiveness are a result of blockage in the root chakra. Chapter 4, Sound and Vibrations. The entire universe and every molecule and atom is made up of vibrations. Healing with sounds and chanting mantras produces vibration to help reduce stress, alter consciousness, and create a sense of peace, well-being, and health. There is a harmonic attunement, a sound healing for your physical, emotional, and spiritual being. Sound healing has proven to heal cancer patients, reducing stress and aiding pain management. Mantras hold divine healing vibrations of the universe. One can either chant mantras or listen to them. They serve as an instrument to dissolve the ego, mind, and elevate spiritual consciousness. Mantras are the most profound forms of speech, sound at its highest, since it takes us away from the egocentricity, feelings of self-interest, and narcissism. It lifts us beyond all other existence when that supreme sound, also known as Nad in Hindu philosophy, becomes sovereign. It creates paradigm shifts in the world, changes one's life, communication, and thoughts. It transforms us into entirely new beings. Words create vibrations. The sound released with breath, does it fade or die out? When we chant mantras, where do the sound vibrations go? Did you know that sounds have images? The luminosity experienced while chanting mantras arise from hum of a higher frequency that affect the brain but are seldom remembered in walking consciousness. This experience also linked to the heart lotus and is symbolized as a sprinting antelope, signifying that before the intellect grasps it, it is already gone. It often takes a long time before the intellect allows us into that unseen place, to which walking consciousness has no access. The mantra will eventually germinate in us and reveal itself, however to reach this place requires persistent practice and no interference from the ego, mind. Physical reality that can be perceived with the five senses is not the reality, but the creation. One needs to erase all negative psychic impressions before sowing positive ones, by regularly practicing meditation and mantra chanting. Chapter 5, What are mantras? The word mantra has its roots in the Sanskrit word man meaning to think. A mantra can be a word, a sentence, a verse, a prayer, a song, a spell, charm or an incantation. The aim of mantras is to achieve righteousness. Mantras have a definitive importance at the materialistic and spiritual levels. When spoken in a particular manner and contemplated within, can make sorrows wither and assure salvation as they are energy-based sounds. Mantras exist in all languages and religion. The Eastern metaphysical tradition explains that the body is composed of the combination of 5 elements and the first of them is sound. Studies in sound symbolism put forward that vocal sounds have meaning, whether we are aware of them or not, and there can be several layers of symbolic alliance with each sound. So even if we do not understand them, mantras are not meaningless. No vocal utterance is entirely meaningless. A mantra, when repeated constantly during meditation, at first loudly, and then through silent mental chanting, alters the consciousness. Mantras are sound symbols and how they function depends on the perspective and the intellect of the person repeating them. Om is considered the first primordial sound of the universe. Although a person may not understand the meaning of a mantra, they still are potent. Vocal sounds have meaning if whether one is aware of it or not. The powers of mantras are mystical and have the potency to change the consciousness. Let's imagine, when someone says ill things to us or ridicules us, how do we feel? What does it do to us? What does it create? It bothers us, it creates negative vibrations, we experience fuming sensations in our stomach, certain discomfort, physically, our muscles tense and we feel stiff in the head and the entire body. When condemning words could create psychological and physiological reactions in us, then chanting words that hold positive vibrations of the cosmos, do benefit us at all levels. Mantras ignite positive vibrations in us and the energy fields around our etheric body shield us. Mantras are mysterious sound symbols that correspond to invoke spiritual forces. They often contain syllables like om, ah, hum, pronounces as hu, which do not have a literal meaning. They are sound frequencies. Intellectually trying to comprehend the importance of chanting mantras is similar to walking blindfolded on a freeway. Mantras help quiet the mind, get rid of the constant internal chattering, and chaos the monkey mind is habituated to. With a still mind it is possible to have an open and non-judgmental perspective to view things and life situations. We think without being aware, most of the time. Mantras develop mindfulness and train the intellect to be observant and witness everything from a distance. This results in the least participation and allows an individual to disconnect from the drama the mind creates. Chanting creates distance from the habitual thinking process that is totally not called for and flushes out unnecessary thought patterns gradually, leaving a vacant, balanced, and peaceful state of mind. Have you ever wondered when you meet someone or visit a certain place, why do you feel an instant energy boost? This happens when you encounter positive energy. Likewise, certain people, whom you may not even know, make you feel repulsive. This occurs because there is friction and misbalance in their energy field. Since they are starved of positive energy, they suck the positive energy from their environment and people around them, hence, those around such people feel drained. Such people are known as psychic vampires. If one has a reservoir of positive energy within them, and is centered within their own awareness, such psychic vampires can be kept at bay. A positive person is gifted to improve the environment and affect the consciousness of people around them. Such an aura always surrounds those who have practiced self-inquiry over a period of time, saints, and realized beings. Children have a pure aura as well. If you are new to the science of mantras and meditation, it is advisable that you chant the mantra out loud initially. This won't allow you to fall asleep or wander in thoughts while you meditate. Follow your breath and attune the chanting by conscious breathing. As you tune into the techniques, you may chant the mantras internally by being observant of your breath. Chapter 6, Chakra Mantras. Meditations to unblock energy. Sound is vibration. What you may not be aware of is that each of your chakras has a specific vibration as well, and you can use mantras that are known to be in vibrational harmony with each chakra, with the purposes of opening and harmonizing the system. Using chakra mantras during meditation can have a very profound effect. Imagine a chakra as a utensil, and the mantra as a tuning fork. Strike the tuning fork, and the utensil will come into vibrational resonance with it, clearing out blocked energies that do not share the same resonance. 5 Seed Mantras. Let's begin with basic mantras called Biha mantras, or seed mantras, that have been universally used in meditative practice to harmonize one's energy. Om, pronunciation Om, the most well-known and universal of the Biha mantras. It is the sound, Anahat Nad, of creation and causes energy to gather and flow upward towards the crown chakra and outward into the universe. Om is the mantra of acceptance and ascent. It helps us to accept our higher self and allow energy to flow openly and freely throughout. It also serves as a gathering mantra, gathering your inward energy and preparing your energy for movement. Krim, pronunciation Krim, chanting this mantra stimulates our lower chakras to awaken and begin purifying our body by raising its vibrations. Shrim, pronunciation Shrim, its association lies within the head and third eye. It promotes bodily and spiritual awakening, but can also be used to bring beauty to one's being and happiness to one's senses. Rim, pronunciation Hm, this holds healing powers and creativity. Chanting this mantra awakens compassion and purifies the heart. Hum, pronunciation Hum, this evokes the breakdown of negative feelings and spreads positivity and vitality through the body. Read the list and choose the mantra S that you intuitively feel you are inclined to. Each of the cleansing mantras corresponds to one of the 7 chakras in your body. Do not be anxious about using them all. You may be very energetically healthy in some respects and not so much in others. Just pick the one that resonates with your needs. You may ask yourself, is this sound beneficial to me? And use it to begin your meditation. This literally sets the tone for your meditation. Then, you can incorporate the healing energies of the cleansing mantras mentioned here. 7 Cleansing Mantras. Lam is a cleansing mantra, chanted for the root chakra, which keeps one grounded and connected to the earth. Chanting this mantra will cleanse impurities that are stored in the root chakra, literally opening you up to feelings of security, prosperity and belonging, and clearing any blocked energy that has prevented an individual from moving upwards to the other 6 main energy centers. Chant Lam if your energy is low, or if you struggle financially, suffer from low self-esteem and endure adrenal fatigue and other stress-related ailments. Vam, this cleansing mantra is for the sacral chakra, which is associated with sexuality, pleasure, and creativity. The opening of this chakra will open you up to others, give you the courage and confidence to express yourself and to embrace change. Chant Vam, if suffer from low libido, have poor self-image, find it hard to be expressive in your associations with people and family in general. Ram, this cleansing mantra opens the solar plexus chakra, the foundation of your individual power. Chanting Ram will increase your ability to stand up for yourself, manage negative impulses, and exercise greater self-control. Your self-esteem will enhance as you chant Ram, and you will become more self-assured and confident. If you suffer frequent stomach pains and anxiety, they will subside with chanting this mantra. Yam, this cleansing mantra is for the heart chakra. We give and receive love through the energy axis that is positioned in our heart chakra. If we're not feeling affectionate, amiable, and compassionate, or experience relationship crises, we could chant Yam. Chanting Yam heals both the physical heart and the spiritual, emotional, heart center, and opens and helps us open up to unconditional love and compassion. Ham, this cleansing mantra is to unblock the throat chakra. This is our physical and spiritual voice, and our means of communicating who we are and what we need from yourself and the cosmos. The throat chakra gives us the ability to express ourselves. If it's closed, we find ourselves frequently frustrated, closing ourselves off to opportunities and not having our needs met. A closed throat chakra makes honesty and integrity difficult traits to exemplify. The vibrations from Ram will open our throat chakra so that our communication energy flows powerfully. Om, or Om, this cleansing mantra opens the third eye chakra. This is between the eyebrows and is directly in line with the center of our brain. While Om is one of the most familiar mantras and is used widely during mantra meditations, it is particularly important to the cleansing and healing of the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is the magnitude of intuition and life purpose. Chanting Om will break loose the constraints that one may have imposed upon themselves by not allowing oneself to listen to their inner wisdom and use that wisdom to plan the best course for a life of purpose and passion. Om or Ah, these cleansing mantras are for the crown chakra, the link to the divine. A clogged crown chakra brings about feelings of insignificance and worthlessness, leading towards a disconnection from the spirit, and an excessively strong attachment to possessions, relationships, and the material world. Some find that silence is a more effective practice for opening the crown chakra, but Om may be used to open it as well. Chanting Ah corresponds to a release. Imagine taking a deep breath, then letting it go. Ah is the sound of releasing and letting go. Chapter 7, Meditation and Self-Inquiry. Intuitive awareness is a gift of regular meditative practices. There may be many things going on in the mind, gradually, and in the calm environment of meditation, the impressions of the intellect are revealed. This can be used as a means for self-realization, and we can now identify for disturbance in energy. Meditation deciphers self-inquiry. In self-inquiry, one simply inquires, who am I? Who is having this experience? A beginner would say, I am Jonathan. I am experiencing joy or sorrow. A realized being will answer the same question by saying, I am that. Excerpts from the Rig Gita beautifully explain this. The Song of Avadhuta. I have no birth, no death, and no duties. I have never done anything either good or bad. I am purely Brahman, the absolute beyond all qualities. How could either bondage or liberation exist for me? If God is all-pervading, immovable, whole without any parts, then there is no division in this God at all. How then can he be regarded as without? The whole universe has been shining as one without any split or breaks or separate parts. The idea of Maya, the great illusion, is itself a great delusion. Duality and non-duality are rally concepts in the mind. The world of forms and the formless voids, neither of these exists independently. In the one, there is neither the separation nor union. Truly there's nothing but Shiva consciousness alone. I have no mother, or father, or brother. I have no wife, or husband, or son, or friend. I have no attachments, or non-attachments. How then do you justify this anxiety of mind? O mind, there's neither the day of manifestation nor the night of disillusion. Near continuous light, neither rises, nor sun sets. How could a wise man sincerely believe that formless existence is affected by forms? It is not undivided, nor is it divided. It experiences neither sorrow nor joy. It is not of the universe, nor is it not of the universe. Understand that the self is eternally one. Brahman, the absolute. Conclusion. Out beyond of ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing there is a field. I'll meet you there. Rumi. In my experience, the transformation from the ego mind to the realization of the true self has been a shower of grace. My master often said, the journey from the intellect to the self in search of truth is like giving birth to yourself. Self-realization is being kissed from within, he added. When it happens, there is a spontaneous knowing, a recognition. I want to thank you once again for downloading this ebook and sincerely hope you found it helpful and informative. Best blessings. Mary Solomon.